μαγική βραδιά επεφύλαξε η Σάρα Brightman, ένα από τα μεγαλύτερα ονόματα της διεθνούς μουσικής σκηνής, σε όσους παρακολούθησαν τη συναυλία που έδωσε στο πλαίσιο του Sani Festival, Stars on the Hill. Η σοπράνο με τις μεγαλύτερες πωλήσεις στον κόσμο, τα δισεκατομμύρια views, τα αμέτρητα βραβεία και την αγγελική φωνή με έκταση που ξεπερνά τις 3 οκτάβες, αποθεώθηκε από το κοινό που πλημμύρισε το λόφο του Sani Resort στην Κασάνδρα της Χαλκιδικής. Η σούπερ σταρ από τη Βρετανία είναι μια από τις σημαντικότερες φωνές του λυρικού τραγουδιού, που πρωτοστάτησε στην κλασική crossover μουσική σκηνή, δηλαδή στην ερμηνεία δημοφιλών τραγουδιών με κλασικό ύφος. Η φωνή της έχει ηχήσει σε εμβληματικά θέατρα, αρένες, καθεδρικούς ναούς, μνημεία παγκόσμιας πολιτιστικής κληρονομιάς και ολυμπιακά στάδια, ζωντανεύοντας μερικές από τις πιο όμορφες μουσικές του κόσμου μας. Λίγες ώρες πριν τη συναυλία παραχώρησε μια αποκλειστική συνέντευξη στο Euronews.
Nothing was calculative. In what I did, I started off training to be a ballerina many years ago. It was all my mother knew what to do, because she was a dancer herself. And I think through that, through the ballet that I did every day, we were learning all of the classical music that was accompanying that, from Tchaikovsky to Rachmaninoff to all these beautiful French composers as well. And I loved the music, so it stayed within me. And through time, when I discovered that really I had a voice that I could probably work with professionally, everything came to fruition. And I was also working a little bit in the sort of popular music, the pop world as well, as a teenager, because I enjoyed having fun. And I had a few hit records and albums. They were called records then, of course. And I think then with the fusion of my understanding of music from the 60s and 70s, and there was a lot of fusion of classical and rock and everything then, I sort of just very naturally started to integrate everything. And I had a very full classical training with my voice. So it actually gave me the power to be able to work in every genre, in whichever way I wanted. So it was a very natural decisions I made, really because of how I'd entered the world and taken the music that I had at that time in.
What interests you today, after so many years, so many genres, so many work in different fields?
I've always had a very eclectic taste in music. So I think it's very important never to be judgmental about music, because it's very, very easy to be that way, and to listen and to really listen and understand why things have come to fruition. I definitely feel this time in music that we're going through at the moment is only a pathway to what there's going to be. So I take it seriously, but not too seriously. It's a fun time. People have a lot of sort of things to say. There's a lot of anger often in music as well, in the poetry of it. People are trying to explain things. And I think this will come into a different place, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Take my hand, I'm a stranger in paradise, or lost in a wonderland, a stranger in paradise. If I stand starry-eyed, there's a danger in paradise, for mortals who stand beside an angel like you. I saw your face ascending out of the commonplace and into the realm of somewhere out in space.
I'm very inspired by the future, but not necessarily the future in a technical way, but I think there's a whole part of our brain which we know is not opened yet. Some people have the vision and some don't. And I think there are going to be really, really interesting things about human beings and their feelings and their instincts, which are part of what our brain as we mature as human beings are going to offer. So I think this area really, really, really interests me, because I think we're coming to that point where and especially, you know, with people moving out and wanting to go sort of outer planet, all of those things, the engineers, the scientists, we're discovering now, I suppose with technology, so many amazing things. It's going to open our brain even more, and things in our future are going to be very different, and that's what excites me.
I know that you like very much space travel, and you have been trained a lot in Russia. Is this a dream that is still in your mind, or you have...
It interests me, and I went through that period in my life, but it's not my ambition. If it had happened, it would have been wonderful, but I didn't go in the end, and I'm not that concerned about it, because when you go through space training and all of those things, it's not necessarily a physical thing, it's a spiritual thing. It changes the way that you think in many ways. I wish everybody could do it. So that in a way was enough for me. So I was quite happy. But it was definitely something I'm glad I went through.
So you have accomplished so many things. Is there anything else in your bucket list, professionally and personally?
I think there are many, many things on my bucket list. I couldn't necessarily write them down because sometimes they come along and I think, yes, I would like to do that. So it could be anything from learning how to make a bœuf bourguignon, which I can't do, and it's always been my dream, to, I don't know what, it could be something extraordinary in the future. So, you know, my life, I keep, because my career is very full on, and you have to give a lot to it. I keep my own life incredibly simple, and I find a lot of fun and beauty in actually very simple things, because actually there's a depth in the most simple things, and they can be most extraordinary. So yeah, so I feel as an artist an incredibly lucky person, because I've been able to pursue what I love and have had a passion for, and yet I've kept my life in a good sort of grounded place. So I'm part of up there, and I'm very much part of down here.
You have collaborated with so many artists. Are there any moments that you keep in mind, collaboration that you single out?
There are so many wonderful moments, and sometimes they can be the simplest things, like a conversation backstage with an actor, or a situation that happens in a simple form. But I think probably, you know, if one is to pick a highlight of my career, it was being asked to go to China and be part of the Olympic Games. And it wasn't that it was to do with China, it was to do with how they raised the bar of what can be done as entertainment for the beginning of a sports event. And it was quite incredible. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I didn't know I was going to go up on a globe. I didn't know anything. It was all very secretive. But when I was actually doing it, I remember thinking, my goodness, this is an amazing thing to be part of, because it's global.
Is there any advice, any tip you'd like to share, you'd like to give to new artists, to new singers?
Yes, don't follow the fame. Don't think I want to be famous. Just think I want to be as good as I possibly can be. Because if you do that, the fame will come. And that's all you have to do. Don't think of those end goals. Just think about yourself and how good you can make whatever it is that you do.
You were designated as an artist for peace by UNESCO. In your opinion, which is now the most urgent issue on the planet? It is the climate crisis, it is the immigration, the rise of the extreme right, war, what? And how should we tackle all this thing?
I think that we're not powerful to be changing the climate. It's not us. But what we do need to do, because the climate is always, if you go right back in the past, before human beings were even around, you find that it has done these getting very hot, very cold. So that was going to happen anyway. I think that what we need to do is clean up our act. We really do, so that we can adapt to climate change, which is going to happen anyway. And that's really, I think, naturally what we're starting to do. So it's very important that everybody is aware of it, and we're already becoming aware. Our oceans, you know, when you just go snorkeling in beautiful areas of sea that you went to 20 years ago, suddenly the coral is all dead when it used to be colourful. Little things we see, it's getting too hot, it's getting too cold, we're not comfortable. So I think naturally we will start trying to do something about it ourselves in the smallest way.
Η Σάρα Brightman καθήλωσε τους θεατές με ένα πρόγραμμα που περιλάμβανε όλες τις μεγάλες επιτυχίες της καριέρας της, από το φάντασμα της όπερας και το Time to Say Goodbye, μέχρι γνωστές άριες και διασκευές κλασικών τραγουδιών. Μαζί της στη σκηνή βρέθηκαν δύο εξαιρετικοί λυρικοί τραγουδιστές, ο τενόρος Τζέι Τρεφ και ο κόντρα-τενόρος Ναρκίς Ιαννάου, οι οποίοι τη συνόδευσαν σε διάφορα σημεία του προγράμματος. Στη συναυλία συμμετείχαν επίσης η Άνθες Φιλαρμόνια Όρκεστρα και η μεικτή χοροδία Θεσσαλονίκης.
I always love to do my hits. I really enjoy singing my hits. I know sometimes artists will always say, well, I just want people to hear the new stuff, but I think that when I go to a concert, I love hearing all the new things, but I really want to hear the hits. That's why I go. So I'm definitely doing all of those. And I wanted to, just because of the environment and this absolutely beautiful place, you've got the sea, the soft wind, the sun setting, all of those beautiful things. I just wanted to do some really, really beautiful music for it. Things that people really enjoy, things that people can just sit and relax and reflect and have lovely thoughts.
I close my